it's Allison Block, the design director for Travers, filming today from the living room of my parents' home outside Cleveland, Ohio, presenting to an audience of one, my mother. I'm really excited today to present to you the second collection that we launched in January for Travers Spring 2020. This collection is particularly near and dear to my heart as a displaced New Yorker, as it's my love letter to Central Park and to New York City. I'm going to start today by showing you our Central Park toile. Central Park toile is original artwork. It's pen and paper drawing originally, and I found it in the portfolio of my design intern from last semester. She came in for her interview, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it was really, really special, and I offered her the job almost immediately. And then afterwards, we were able to negotiate a purchase of the artwork, and so she was able to see this design come to fruition, which as a senior in college is a really, really special thing. You'll see, I'm going to try to hold it back from a distance so you can see all of the different scenes that are happening here. What's really unique about Central Park toile is that it's embroidered. It's not a print. I'm going to hold it a little bit closer now so you can see that detailing. And it's been really expertly embroidered with very special stitches that I've never used before. And they really translate that hand-drawn, loose hand-done quality of the original artwork. And you'll see it depicts scenes that you would find in Central Park, some of my favorite places. In the center, you'll see Bethesda Fountain, and then above that is Belvedere Castle. And then right here, you'll see the Central Park Mall. And then my personal favorite is a place that I've spent a lot of time at. It's the Jackie Kennedy Reservoir, and from there you can see this apartment building. It's the San Remo apartment building, and it's really one of my most favorite places in Central Park is running around this reservoir and seeing the buildings, and it's sort of this urban experience, but inside of like a really, really beautiful park. And so this is our green colorway of Central Park toile. And Central Park toile comes in 4 colors. We start here, and then I'm going to show you, here's our natural, sort of like our neutral on ivory. It's really subtle, and when you get a little bit closer, you can really see all of the detailing. And then we also have a sky blue. And the sky blue is really perfect because the blue is not too sweet, and it really feels right for this design. And then last but not least is our bold black and white. This is my personal favorite. I also particularly love that it's a really modern interpretation of a very classic type of print. It's also important to note that if you're not familiar with New York City or with Central Park, it's still just this really beautiful urban park scene. So it doesn't have to take on this special meaning like it does for me and maybe other New Yorkers or really anyone, but it's just this really, really beautiful, subtle outdoor environment. So this is Central Park toile. And then the second design is Gramercy. Gramercy is named for New York City's most exclusive private park, Gramercy Park. And Gramercy is a really, really lightweight, natural, single width drapery fabric that has a really rustic feel to it. Well, not feel, it's very soft. It has a rustic look to it with its intentional breaking in the lattice design. Gramercy is really lightweight and it's really soft, and so we offer it in this beautiful aqua colorway. We also have a really nice, elegant blush colorway that's not too sweet. This natural, we have ivory, and then there's also, it wouldn't be Travers without a classic blue, and this blue has a nice denim quality to it. And then last but not least, we have aqua. And so that's Gramercy. I mentioned in a video that I made yesterday that was presenting the Out of Africa collection that we have a new category for Travers, and that's wide width sheer. And so this is Olmsted. Olmsted is named for Frederick Law Olmsted. He's the architect of Central Park. Olmsted is this really beautiful, soft, double width fil coupe drapery fabric that has been piece dyed. And that means that first the design is completely completely woven, and then it all gets dipped into the dye, and that's how it gets its color. And what's really interesting about that is that the different fibers take color differently. So that's how you're getting this rich dimension when it's even though it's all been dipped into the same color. And so the shiny yarn takes on a little bit of a different character than the matte dry ground, and so it adds a lot of depth. And so this is our creamy colorway of Olmsted. We also have a true white colorway of Olmsted. I don't know if that's coming across very clearly on the computer screen, but that's been very deliberate that we're offering both, because if you wanted that true crisp white, then the creamy colorway really wouldn't do it for you. And if you didn't want something as stark, then the white colorway wouldn't do it for you. And so we really wanted to offer you both, especially in this really lightweight, beautiful drapery fabric. In addition to these two colors, we also have a really nice sky blue, and then also a gray that's not too heavy, and then our sort of natural beige colorway. So that's Olmsted. This next design is another one of my personal favorites. This is Greensward Bouquet. And again, it's going to be really difficult for me to show this to you, especially given the crop on the Rhodeline piece that I have handy in the home right now. Greensward Bouquet is this really, really incredible, large-scale burst of flowers that the design repeat is 60 inches high by the full width, by the 54, and it joins at the half drop in the silhouette of the ground. So, you know, if you had two bouquets on one side of the window, then you can stagger them instead of having them side by side. And Greensward Bouquet is really, it's reminiscent of an antique fresco. You've got layer on layer of color. There's over 35 colors in this design. And it's really, it just has this really beautiful old world feeling to it. And we've offered it in 3 colorways. This is our sort of colorized neutral. And I say neutral because it has this really nice, beautiful beige ground. And it's the palest of the colorways. So there's the neutral. And then we also, here's the documentary colorway. And the document, the original design, if you can believe it, was much larger in scale, and it was a panel, so it had no repeat. And it came from the mill in Italy that prints this. And so we worked together to turn it into a repeatable design that would be more usable. But this was the original colorway. And as I mentioned in my video before, whenever I can, I like to include original colorways because it pays respect to the intent of the design, and also sometimes it's fresh and new, and it's something that I may not have come up with myself. So this is the original design, or the original colorway. And then we have one more colorway, and this is our boldest, freshest colorway. It has a really, really beautiful sky blue ground, and it's the poppiest of the 3, but all 3 really are more subtle, and they're not too vibrant. They really take on this weathered character. So that's Greensward Bouquet. And then the next one is Beresford, and Beresford is the 3rd of the 3 wide width shears that we've introduced this year. Beresford has this really nice stripe design where there are a couple of different stripes that make up the repeat, so it adds a little bit more interest. It's also a fil coupe and very natural and soft. And I also wanted to note that the ground has this really beautiful subtle melange effect, so another layer of dimension. Beresford, like I said, is wide width, and it's named for the Beresford, which is a luxury apartment building on the Upper West Side of Manhattan that also used to be a hotel of the same name. This is the ivory on natural, and then we have an ivory on ivory. And what I love so much about the ivory on ivory is that even though it's all one color, you're still getting all of the dimension. You can really see the texture and the detailing in the fil coupe detail, and I really think it adds a lot of richness to a room. So that's our ivory on ivory. And then here we have our sky on ivory. And then, of course, our blue on ivory. So this is Beresford. Beresford is really just a really nice, easy, usable sheer for your window. And then the next design is Gracie Lampus. And Gracie Lampus, the design for Gracie Lampus came from the Travers archive, except it was a print, and it was this really delicate print that was sort of falling apart. And we decided to interpret it as a lampus, a true lampus. So I'm going to show you the back side, and oftentimes I find the back side to be just as special as the front. This lampus has no silk in it. It's important for me to note. It has a nylon warp, and if you look closely in the warp, it has this really, really beautiful subtle striae effect that adds a lot of dimension. This is our blush colorway, and I love that the greens take on this like quirky chartreuse. So it's classic and fresh at the same time. It has a really soft hand. It drapes really beautifully. And Gracie Lampus is named for Gracie Mansion, which is where the mayor of New York City lives. And we offer it in that blush colorway, and then also just this really, really beautiful patina colorway that has hints of magenta and pink, and the greens get a little bit more olivey in cast. So that's Gracie Lampus. And then last but not least, I'm going to share with you our Bosque Moire. And I'm really, really, really excited that you can see the moire on the computer screen. I was a little bit worried that I was going to present it to you and it was just going to look like a solid, and it is not a solid. It has this really, 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 really classic moire design and it's a true moire, which means that first the ground fabric gets woven, and we've woven our ground fabric with a really nice subtle ottoman that I think is coming through on the computer screen. And then it goes through these cylinders, and the cylinders press the moire design into the fabric. And our moire is a cotton moire, which gives it a drier feel. It's a little bit more rustic. It has a beautiful drape, and it is suitable for light upholstery. So this is Bosque Moire, and this is our aqua colorway. We also have this really beautiful, sophisticated, elegant blush color. In addition to that, we have what I'm calling oyster. It's sort of like an ecru, or like a very light beige. We also have a really beautiful true ivory. And then my favorite color is this beautiful jewel-toned, rich green emerald color. And last but not least, I don't have it with me in Cleveland, but it comes in this beautiful petrol patina color that's really, really great. And I highly suggest that you order the memo. I just don't have it on hand at my parents' house. But so that's the Central Park collection, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and it's been really refreshing for me to be able to make these for you. I hope you stay safe, and I look forward to the day that we meet again. Thank you.